We're joined by Edmund Ainscough, Managing Director of Lunnon Metals. Edmund, thanks for your time.
G'day, David.
Kambalda, nickel, can't be a hotter jurisdiction for that type of commodity.
Oh, it's pretty popular at the moment. I mean, we've seen with the Wyloo takeover of Mincor, they've moved to control since we last met. I think that just highlights strategically just how important the nickel metal units in the ground in Kambalda, both the ones we know about but the ones we don't know about, just how important they are to these big companies who want to be involved in the energy transition.
The takeover, clearly important for the region and clearly important for Wyloo and Mincor, but did the documentation give you any little tips of things you should be looking for?
Well, look, yeah, Dave, that's interesting. They put out a target statement, Mincor, as they had to. At the back end of that, there's some really excellent work they've done on the exploration side of things. And it just dovetailed neatly. The timing of it was just as we were finishing a 2D seismic line at the north end of our ground, which was at the immediate south end of Mincor's ground. And the work they put out suggests that there's some pretty big ore bodies still to be found in Kambalda. They were pretty excited about one particular target that's close to us, and that runs straight onto our ground. So yes, we read that with great interest. Then we got the results of the seismic line and kind of couldn't believe our eyes that we could see things in our data that were suggestive that the work they've done is actually, yep, there could be something there. And yeah, we're pretty excited, I have to say.
Clearly excited, not just by that transaction and your exploration results, but the size of the opportunity.
Yeah, well, Kambalda's people forget 1.6 million tonnes of nickel metal has been mined in the Kambalda district. A big chunk of that around what's called the Kambalda Dome, which is where the very original mines were found by WMC in 1966. So we've got the southern half of that dome. The northern half sits in Mincor, southern half sits in us. Effectively no modern exploration for 30 years. So fantastic address, great endowment that's known about, and we've just got these big tracts of ground where there hasn't been very much, if any, modern drilling.
Where to from here?
Well, it's kind of hard to contain the excitement. There is a process we have to go through. The target is out on the Salt Lake, so we have to build a causeway. That takes a little bit of time. I'd love to be able to just wheel the rigs up and get them turning, but we've got a few weeks of preparation to get going. I'm presenting at Diggers. I've asked the guys, can you please get to the target before we get to Diggers? That's on the exploration front. Right now, the team's putting their shoulder to the wheel on the Baker PFS. That's due out in a couple of weeks. That's a really important document for us that will declare ore reserves, lets us talk to the likes of Nickel West about our offtake from Baker. I think it will let the market get a peg in the sand on the value of Baker and what it means to us and the shareholders. So yeah, busy couple of months coming up.
Tier 1 jurisdiction, Tier 1 commodity, a potential to be a Tier 1 project in terms of size and scale. Exciting times ahead for Lunnon Metals and its shareholders. Edmund, thanks for your time.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Dave.